The amount of negative attention I get because of my size is substantial. I'm a big fat guy.
I have tried 20 different methodologies, programs.
Seems like my body has a set point that I can't fight. But inside me, I know there's something more.
From my perspective, each incarnation is a chapter in the soul's story. If resolving things from this chapter doesn't quite do it, we need to explore previous chapters. Just know that you'll spontaneously go to the most significant karmic events in that life. It's exciting. We're exploring the unknown together. I don't know. I never know what's going to come up.
Probably the most misunderstood thing about people dealing with weight issues in our society is you've never walked in that person's shoes. You don't know what it's like to knock things over. You don't know what it's like to not be able to get a shirt. You don't know what it's like to, just be, the object of everybody's eyesight.
My name is Jay Sikora. I am a power plant expert. I'm aware of my size or my weight. The amount of negative attention I get because of my size is substantial.
Everything you say gets tainted with the thought that you don't have something under control.
I see my hero when I see him, so it's not for me, but I know just from working with other people that the first thing they see is the weight, and they think, oh, this guy, what is this guy going to do? He's not organized, he's not connected. Why? Because he's overweight. We used to work for a yacht chartering company together. I worked in the office and he worked on the boat, and we just hit it off. And I just called him one day and said, what are you doing on Friday? Before he hung up the phone, he goes, this is Jay, right? And ever since then, we've been as thick as thieves. We started dating in September of 1988, and then we had a major car accident in October.
We were underneath the BQE, and we had gotten T-boned.
And a drunk driver hit us. The car was just a mess. And I looked over, and I thought I killed him. I thought he was dead. Jay broke a lot of bones on his right side. I know it was like a collarbone, all his ribs, did some damage to his liver. I mean, the car, it really went into him.
After I left the hospital, I was basically in bed for a month. And after that, I walked with a cane for about 3 months. That was the first time I've ever not been able to physically work, and I guess that's what started it.
After the accident, I started a business, and that wound up losing everything I had ever earned.
At the end of that, I found out my girlfriend was pregnant. Before the accident, I was about 180 pounds, 200 pounds. And after the accident, I stayed above 300, 330, somewhere in that neck of the woods. I've gone through Fen, I've done South Beach.
Nutrisystem where they ship the food to you.
Went to a guy who gives you shots.
I've worked out, I've tried yoga, I've tried biking. Over the course of years, I have tried probably 20 different methodologies, programs.
Seems like my body has a set point that I can't fight.
My automatic program or my thermostat or whatever you want to call it is set to big. My current job is, basically, I'm a consultant. So what that means is I'm essentially a hired gun. Primarily the way I get work now is when somebody who knows me is coming up on an outage and they don't feel comfortable. What happens with me is my weeks are so all over the place that I have to make sure I have everything I need in the car. So what I do is I have a storage unit, and I go to the storage unit once a week or once every 2 weeks, and I change all the stuff out as best I can to make sure that I have everything I need. I live basically out of a car most of my life, a car or a hotel. So it's not like I have a lot of opportunity to set up camp and eat right all the time.
When he comes home, he's very tired because he doesn't stop moving. And the only way that Jay stops is if he just passes out, which makes me nervous. He's like my rock. I mean, I don't know what I would do without him. He's not a difficult man. He's not complicated in any way. He doesn't get a lot of help. It doesn't seem like anyone wants to help him.
I know what I know. But inside me, I know there's something more. And I know that there is something more to do, something more to say, something more. But I don't know exactly how to get there.
You know, most people come to me because they've tried everything else, And, you know, they're yo-yo dieters. They gain, they lose, they gain, they lose the same amount of weight each time, and they have a set point. My name is Joan Pankow, and I've been a psychic therapist in Manhattan since 1976. And the type of therapy I've developed, the core of which is past life regression therapy, is to help people that are stuck in different areas of their life in which traditional psychotherapy hasn't seemed to resolve the problem. I think I need some sage today. Burning sage. In the early 70s, there were a few therapists that were starting to do past life regression therapy. I mean, it was out there. The challenges that we all had in any given lifetime had karmic roots from past lives. So my philosophy is that environmental factors and childhood factors are the tip of the karmic iceberg, and that each incarnation is a chapter in the soul's story, so that if resolving things from this chapter doesn't quite do it, we need to explore previous chapters. So that's the basic premise behind the past life regression therapy. So I developed the psychic therapy with the past life regression therapy as the core, as a way to empower people to get on with why they're here. Each person's past life regression therapy is specifically focused on where they're stuck. If you've had hundreds of past lives over, millennium, and you get a karmic, what I call default, of attachment to identity to a specific body type that served you well in times past, very hard to let go of that, even when it doesn't serve them anymore in this life.
The past life thing for me explains a lot of things. It explains why you have instant connections with people, that you walk up and you meet somebody and you feel like you've known that person.
This will be my first past life regression. If Joan is able to unlock some of the reasons why I hold on to the weight, I think that I'll be able to just basically let it go. The amount of negative attention I get because of my size is substantial.
I have tried probably 20 different methodologies.
Seems like my body has a set point that I can't fight. If Joan is able to unlock some of the reasons why I hold on to the weight, I think that I'll be able to just basically let it go.
It's exciting. We're exploring the unknown together. I don't know. I never know what's going to come up. I just know intuitively how to guide them through it and get the lessons. Feeling very peaceful, very connected to the earth. So today's session, we're going just to be opening up your range. With each count down, you're going to feel your consciousness moving deeper into your being to help you get more comfortable on deeper and deeper levels of being in the body, where memories of all earthly incarnations in any form reside. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Visualize a golden wheel of light. Many spokes. We're going to work with your soul wheel like a two-dimensional clock face. What time on the clock face is the spoke presently incarnate as the personality J?
2.
2? Okay. All of your spokes blink on and off like a string of Christmas tree lights. In which incarnation has the soul experienced the most similar relationship to the body as in the present incarnation?
The 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. I'm going to count you down into the incarnation from 5 to 1. As you slide down into that life, it'll feel like you're sliding down a chute. 5, 4, 3, 2, all the way in, 1. I want you to center yourself in the body in that life. Focus through the eyes. And tell me what your first impressions are. Are you indoors or outdoors?
On a boat.
And is this your vocation, to be on a boat?
Yeah, we're like marauders or something.
Marauders? What type of body do you have in this life?
Big.
Mm-hmm. Strong?
Yeah.
Is there excitement?
We're attacking a bigger ship.
You lead the charge?
Mm-hmm. People are bouncing off of me.
Ever since I've been a kid, I've imagined a Viking hanging off the prow of a ship in the dark of night, rain, mist, big axe, ready to hit the beach. That's what I've had in my head. That's the imagery I've had in my head.
So does that resonate with you that your job in this life is not as physical as a warrior marauder?
Well, it isn't at this moment. I had a job for many years that the scarier I was, the better I did at my job. I was a turnaround specialist, so if a power plant was underperforming, I would get the assignment to go in and up its performance, essentially. It was useful to be the biggest, scariest guy in the room. Situations that were a lot of animosity, a lot of people, a lot of attitudes. My whole career's been in a hot dungeon. It's cool, but I mean, it's not fun. And when you're in the middle of the boiler and you got 20 guys burning and there's sparks falling all over the place and steel's flying all over the place, it feels very much like a battle. It's not my job anymore. Now trying to undo it all it's very complicated. I feel like the Viking. I felt like the Viking pretty much my whole life. So I can walk in a room, I look around and, see who I'm going to attack or whatever it is. In today's day and age, you really can't go into a boardroom and knock people over.
Right.
There's no place where you can be a warrior anymore. Take the warrior energy or take the battle energy or something like that. There's no outlet for that. So if that's in you, where do you dissipate that energy?
He is happiest when he had a lot of outlet for his yang energy. I mean, if he can tap into his warrior energy, his marauder energy, and really enjoy it, I think the weight will just start falling off.
Sensei Trelli, this is Jay. Jay, this is Sensei Trelli.
Hi,
Pleasure to meet you. How are you feeling?
Good.
Why don't you come on over here? What you're looking for?
I went through this past life regression.
Okay.
And one of the things that came out is, I'm a fighter. But in day-to-day business, you can't.
Right.
You can't stand up in a boardroom and pop somebody.
Right. You didn't get like this way overnight. You
No.
gotta take your time.
Okay.
I'm gonna take you out there. We have like a 10-round, training thing.
Okay.
You're gonna be able to take that fighter and that tension, everything you have inside, out on the bag, and I'll be pushing you through the whole thing.
Okay.
I'll be there watching you, making sure you do everything right. You gotta set a goal in the beginning of class. What you want out of this today?
So the exercise will be one of the releases on the outer levels of the release that we've already done on the inner.
Got it? Let's go. So right. Good in, out. Keep pushing yourself. Always up like a warrior. Push it. Fight of your life. You're gonna achieve this. There we go. Look at great technique. All right, Jay.
All right.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm glad you're here.
All right, I want you to remember this number. This is the number you'll never see ever again. All right, hop on. Okay, so it says 372.
Okay.
All right, little by little each week, right?
All right.
I wanted to ask you about how your training's going.
Training is good. There's a block. It's all where the weight is. It's all right here.
But it's in process.
Yeah.
I mean, we found the right fit for you in terms of training program.
Yeah. It quenches the bloodlust thirst.
That's what we wanted, right? Well, you had always said
I could do that there, and then when I'm in a meeting, I don't want to be like.
Yeah. So it's a healthy outlet for your yang warrior energy that you can always have.
Right. My automatic set point, if you will, or my body image, its default is a big burly guy, and you get a big burly guy.
Because what we really want to do is get an image for you that you can work towards that trumps any of the other images of the body being big as a default.
You have to start with a new plan. So if you want to build a building that looks different, you have to have that plan in your head before you start building the building.
The goal might appear to be the weight loss, but the goal is really him choosing to go deeper into this conscious process, awakening to his true nature and loving who he is.
And I think with all this background being, brought out to the open for him, I think it's going to help a lot.
Feeling more relaxed and expansive now. Making sure the spine feels centered on the floor for balance. See and feel it, the soul's primal wisdom and power, activating within the cellular memory of the body. Now, in which incarnation did the soul experience the highest level optimal relationship with his physical vessel or body? What do you see when you look around you? Are you indoors or outdoors?
Hilltop looking at my kingdom.
Your kingdom. And what's your relationship like with your body in this life?
Good.
Your body does what you want it to do?
Yep.
How big is the body?
It's still big, but not fat.
No excess at all.
No.
So as the king, I want you to look at this part of your soul presently incarnate as Jay. And from the king's perspective, is there any message you'd like to give him so that he can optimize fulfilling his purposes in this life?
Yeah, fix it.
Fix it.
Deal with it.
Deal with it. What needs to change in his relationship with his body so he can optimize, reprioritize, and make his relationship with his body healthy and strong, but without any excess?
The past life thing for me explains a lot of things. So it's really about being able to envision yourself thin. The noble king wouldn't eat, a Boston cream donut from Dunkin' Donuts. They wouldn't, you know what I mean?
Are you available to be a guide for him on his journey through his inner voice if he wants to tune into you?
Yeah, I'm in there.
The noble king was inside of you.
Right.
And it was just chipping away all the excess karmic baggage that has accrued over lifetimes and you've carried in this one.
Keeping a good image of me is the work I need to do. That's work that's okay. So instead of that gatekeeper mentality for weight loss, you get to explore who you are. So becoming comfortable with who you are is actually the way this feels like. And it feels like the more comfortable I am with who I am, the weight's not going to be an issue. And it's the first time I've felt this way in 20-some odd years.
Now that he's on the path and on the journey, if he keeps the memory green and remembers the work that we did, he will get to a certain point.
All I'm doing is trying to keep that image as present as possible until it sinks in.
You're a warrior. This is someone trying to kill you. Okay?
I was wondering how the sessions we've done have been integrating for you.
It would be difficult to describe how stuck I felt. I couldn't describe it, but I just felt stuck. Felt like there was nothing to do. Now afterwards, I'm just being that image that got brought out during the session. The only thing you have to do is to remember. Fat people turn to skinny people to say, hey, how do I get skinny?
Yeah.
Skinny people don't say, oh, you have a vision of you skinny. They say, oh, you exercise, you dance, you breathe right, you do all this. So fat people go do that. It's kind of like waking up the way of life that was in you already. What I do know is what I feel. Absolutely feel different.
Because it's internal and it's visceral. It's not coming at you from society like, I want to be like this person.
Right. Everything in my life has been better because I feel this part, this warrior part, is validated or exercised or at least has a place to play. So to be able to incorporate the things I've learned here, the things I've learned with John, and being able to live my life as chaotic as it is and still be on the track is it's something that I haven't been able to achieve it ever. When I started this, I was about 381, and I'm somewhere around 330 now.
He seems happier, at peace with himself. And he basically had thrown in the towel by the time he was willing to do past life regression therapy.
I definitely see an improvement. I think he feels better.
And I think the past life regression therapy switched him on to remembering who he truly is inside, and that he's not just the personality Jay with the karma he has in this life, with the body he has in this life, with the challenges he has in this life. His soul is much greater than that. So I'm, really, really proud of how well you're doing with this.
I think we all live lives where we're all trying to do what everybody else tells us we should do. And in reality, there's a small, quiet voice in you that's telling you what you are really meant to do. I'm a fighter. I've always been a fighter. I'll always be a fighter. And now there's an appropriate place to use that. I'm thinner, and my business is working. To me, that speaks more than anything I could possibly say. I know the weight loss is about being able to see myself differently or feel myself differently. And everything starts from there.